Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Drew Hernandez. You are now watching Drew Hernandez Live. We have some breaking news. Obviously, yesterday we talked about the horrific shooting, the execution of a Puerto Rican man on Puerto Rican Day being celebrated at a parade in Chicago, United States, California. His girlfriend was also shot right beside him. She appeared to be severely wounded. She appeared to survive. But today, I believe as of this morning, somewhere around today, she did lose her life as well, leaving behind two babies, two children. This Puerto Rican couple was slaughtered, was murdered, was executed, not in broad daylight because it wasn't during the day. I believe it was towards the night, but out in public for the world to see while Mayor Lori Lightfoot continues to proceed and insist that the problem in the United States of America is not gun violence when it comes to criminals, guns in the wrong hands of the wrong people, slaughtering people, black on black crime, brown on black crime, brown on brown crime. She insists that the problems in the United States of America are white people and white supremacy, which led her to declare racism a public health crisis as of recent. We talked about this last night, but I wanted to give you guys an update on the mother that has lost her life as well, leaving two babies behind. Listen, as a Hispanic man, I got to come out and I got to address this very aggressively because this does not make me happy. I'm very angry. So welcome to Drew Hernandez Live. My name is Drew Hernandez. Hopefully one of your favorite podcast hosts here on YouTube. If you're watching this show for the very first time, if you could do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification and toggle on the all selection. Also, we do super chats. This show is extremely deboosted, extremely shadow banned. Over 55K subscribers, can barely get 5,000 views if I'm lucky. So if you'd like to support the channel, check out the merch store, cop a shirt just like this. We have merch for females, males, both alike. Also, guys, make sure to leave a super chat. We do super chats at the end of every single show. You can leave one now in the middle of the show, at the end of the show, or give a one-time donation at drhlive.com. The link is in the description. Shout out to the DH Alliance. Consider joining the DH Alliance. The monthly subscriptions or subscribers on this channel, membership for as low as $5 a month. That is how you can support the channel. Okay, out of that way, this is not the way. I don't like support. I don't like reporting things like this because they're tragedies. They're horrific, especially being a Hispanic man, a Latino man myself. When you see things like this, I'm not going to be like the black community on the left that's going to neglect the real issues going on in our communities. What are the real issues? The real issues are we have black on black crime. We have brown on brown crime. We have Latin kings. We have cartels, especially in Chicago. We have Latin gang members that are slaughtering each other. We have innocent Hispanic people that are being slaughtered in the streets, predominantly in Chicago. This is happening in Los Angeles. This is happening in New York. It's happening in big blue cities. And we have our own people setting the tone, slaughtering each other. And I'm not going to be like the black leftists, okay, and blame the cops and shift the blame somewhere else when we have some serious issues going on in our own communities, and this is one of them. People are saying that the shooter was black. People are saying that the shooter was Latino. I think we're going to find out just exactly who this shooter was because he's still at large. He's still out there. If you're in the Chicago area and you have any information on who this individual is, whoever this demon is, you need to come forward. I know the police have been defunded in Chicago because this is how this works. These stupid woke-tard liberal cities, they get people to buy into this ideology that racism is as bad as it was as we were living in the times of slavery. And you have Black Lives Matter activists on a daily basis in Chicago that are saying the police are the problem. The police are hunting us. So we need to defund the police. All that money needs to go to all the poor black people in Chicago. And they've literally successfully done that in Chicago, in Portland, in New York, in California. It's happening across the United States of America. What you need to understand about this is when innocent people start getting caught in the crossfire, the police will not be there. The investigation teams will not be there to conduct and to achieve justice for these innocent people. So people in Chicago, people in these big blue states that are finding themselves in these situations where justice is needed to be served, you're not going to find it any longer because we have people that voted to defund the police. Now, I'm not blaming this Hispanic couple of being that. I don't know if they were like that. I don't know if they were liberals like that. That's not what this episode is about. I'm pointing out the fact that this is what starts to happen, is our communities get manipulated. Hispanics and blacks get manipulated to buy into this critical race theory garbage, which is a lie, where you're convinced that this is actually taking place, that blacks and browns, you hear Joe Biden literally telling the American people that black and brown people are afraid to go to sleep at night because they're afraid that cops are going to kill them in their sleep. And then you get people that buy into this stuff. And what happens to our communities is now when people buy into these things in the black and the Hispanic and the Latino community, you actually buy into this woke-tarded garbage. You defund the police thinking you're doing the virtuous thing, the social justice virtue signaling. And now when it comes down to achieving justice and finding justice, it may not be there. Because these homicide investigation teams, the police are being defunded. It's not as aggressive as it used to be because the mayor and the leadership of these states is decimating law and order. And who gets hurt in the process? We do. I'm speaking as a Latino and a Hispanic man tonight. I don't normally do that because that's not my thing. That's not my brand. I don't brand the color of my skin. I'm not like this, I'm the Hispanic, conservative, Latino, hey, people, guys, follow me because I'm brown, as if I have nothing more to offer the world, like my talent, my intellect, or what I have to give. I'm not into that, okay? That's not who I am. That's not my brand. I'm someone who is branded based off of what I do, what I believe, and my talent and my abilities that I have to provide and to project to the world. I don't care what skin color you are, but every now and then, something happens in our community that I got to address. This is one of them, okay? We have Democratic leaders in these countries, in these counties, in these cities, in these states, that have put minorities in further danger by defunding the police. Because by defunding the police, listen, this is always the argument, and you hear this from conservatives and libertarians. The police, just because the police aren't there doesn't mean that crime is, these crimes are going to be prevented. It causes them to have a probability of being prevented, but it's also the aftermath that you have to understand, okay? It's the aftermath of defunding the police. You will not have homicide investigations anymore. You will not have rape or incest investigations anymore. This is happening in California. They have gutted all of those teams. They have gutted all these special investigation units. So when the aftermath of crimes come, you don't have these men and women that are professionally qualified and established and equipped to find and seek justice when something like this happens. And this happens across the United States now, that this stupid critical race theory garbage is defunding every police station that they possibly could get their hands on. Whoever's willing to buy it. And the ones who get caught in the crossfire the most are the innocent people, including black people, including white people, and including Latino and Puerto Rican people. So I pray and I hope that justice will be served, will be found for this couple, because I blame people like Lori Lightfoot. I blame people like Black Lives Matter. I blame people that vote for this garbage. Will justice be served? I don't know. The police have been defunded. Are their resources the same? Lori Lightfoot is coming out saying, we will find justice. We will use every resource that we have to find the perpetrators and the murderers. Really? What is that now? Since you've been defunding the police for the past, year and a half? Over a freaking fentanyl addict that would point guns at pregnant women's bellies? Oh, wow, what a great idea. Yeah, we should just defund the police over a fentanyl addict. Yeah, I'm talking about George Floyd. This garbage has destroyed our country. Over a fentanyl addict. This is how bad it's getting. Look at Chicago. Talk about the real issues, Black Lives Matter. Start talking about black on black crime, brown on brown crime, because that is what's taking place right now in Chicago. Hundreds of black people slaughtering other black people. Hundreds of brown people slaughtering other brown people in Chicago on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis. I don't want to hear these people talk about Black Lives Matter until we start continuing to address these things that we see coming out of Chicago. Yes, I'm loud. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm going to continue to speak this way because Black Lives Matter won't. The SJWs won't. The radical left wing won't. Aspects of the right won't. Conservatives won't. So I will talk about the real issues, okay? What's going on in our communities. The black on black crime is through the roof. The brown on brown crime with Latinos, Hispanics is right behind the blacks. This is a display of what's taking place. And you have people like Lori Lightfoot that want to address it. Lori Lightfoot will sit there and say, well, the problem is white supremacy and we got to declare a public health crisis because of racism. And she's talking about white people. While you got black people slaughtering each other in the streets on a daily basis. While you got brown people slaughtering each other in the streets on a daily basis. Why don't we talk about what's really going on the streets of the United States of America? It's not white people. It's not white supremacy. That's not the greatest threat. The greatest threat to the black community right now is not white people. It's not white supremacy. The greatest threat to the black community right now, number one, are the Democrats. Number two, are other black people via killing and executing their unborn children in their own wombs. And number two, other black people slaughtering other black people because the murder rate is through the roof in this country on black crime. That's the greatest threat to the black community right now. It's themselves and the Democrat Party. That's facts. Anyone that disagrees with that, that is what you see on a daily basis. The Democrat Party wants to keep minorities in this position, wants to keep blacks slaughtering each other, wants to keep Hispanics slaughtering each other, wants to keep Latinos living in garbage, wants to keep black people living in garbage. Why do you think the Democrat Party never does anything to improve these situations? Even when they got a black mayor like Lori Lightfoot in Chicago that continues to do nothing for these communities. Nothing. Oh, Lori Lightfoot, she's a black lesbian. She's going to fix everything for us. And all the stupid woke-tards on the left still don't realize that nothing ain't changed. Black people still slaughtering each other. Brown people still slaughtering each other in Chicago on a daily basis. When you got Black Lives Matter stacking billions of dollars, the co-founders just becoming multi-billion and millionaires. And you got all the Black Lives Matter local woke-tards out there running around the streets rioting, thinking that they're actually making some real change. Everybody in this chat knows that everything that I am saying is 100% true. And the greatest threat to the black community and the Hispanic community right now is not white people. It's the Democrat Party and it's their own people because they're slaughtering each other on a daily basis. That's facts. If you guys agree with that, drop a 1 in the comment section below. Everybody knows that this is true, but everybody's afraid to talk about it. The radical left will not acknowledge it because they don't give a damn. It's all about their narrative. Oh, the black people are so oppressed. They're being murdered and slaughtered by cops in the street. Can you show us some evidence to prove what you're saying? No, you just need to believe us because we are setting the narrative. And if you question it, if you attempt in any way, shape, or form to present anything that counters what we are saying, you are declared a racist and a white supremacist. But I'm brown. I'm not even, it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. So let's talk about the facts. What's really going on in the United States of America? You guys want to hear something pretty shocking that was released a couple days ago? Let's go over some of these states and how defunding the police is going. Around the same time of last year, this same time, June of 2020, just a little before the George Floyd incident. Hold on, let me pull this up one more time. Same time last year of 2020, in Portland, there's been a 533 increase of homicides in 1 year. 533% increase of homicides in 1 year. In Portland, also a 126% increase in shootings in 1 year. A 533% increase in homicides in Portland. In Atlanta, a 58% in 1 year increase in homicides. Defund the police. In Atlanta, a 40% increase in shootings. Philadelphia, a 37% increase in homicides. Philadelphia, a 27% increase in shootings in 1 year. New York City, a 13% increase in homicides and a 64% increase in shootings in 1 year. Los Angeles, a 22% increase in homicides and a 51% increase in shootings. That is a 51% increase in shootings in 1 year in Los Angeles. Homicides are skyrocketing all across the country. All across the country. Now, the reason why I'm coming out with this open on this episode is because people need to understand. Do I have your attention now? Okay? When all the woke tards, they come in through my Twitter like, oh, you're just a white supremacist. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, no, it's always the white liberals that come on my Twitter, on my DMs. Or, oh, Drew, you're just such an idiot. You're so stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, dude, so you're telling me as a white liberal, oh, thank you for using your privilege to talk down to a stupid Hispanic like me. I'm just a stupid Hispanic. I don't know enough to talk about my own people's issues in our own communities. Yeah, thank you white woke tards on the left. I guess I'm just a stupid Mexican that doesn't know anything. Oh, and every time I start talking like that, that's not what I'm saying. That's like, yeah, it is. You're talking down to me. I guess I'm just too stupid enough to speak out against my own communities. Oh, you're just a white supremacist sympathizer. No, I'm not. I'm just speaking the truth because the problems in the black community are internal and within themselves. It's not the police. It's not anybody else. If anybody, it's the Democrat Party that's continuing to keep these people segregated, okay, pinned against each other, murdering themselves, genocide, executions in their own babies in the womb, keeping these people perpetually killing each other and keeping them in poverty in these Democrat-run states. If anything, if you're going to point the finger at anybody, yes, point the finger at the federal and the local government. It's always the Democrats that keep us in this position. They don't want us to leave. Why? Why? Because if nothing changes, because these people never think. Haven't you ever wondered, why isn't anything ever changing? Why isn't anything ever improving or getting better? Because if it gets better, they have nothing to run on again. The Democrat Party right now has sold their soul to the devil and aspects of the Republican Party as well. I don't let them go as well. Politicians only say what they need to say to get elected when it comes to election season, midterms, local elections, or obviously the presidential election every 4 years. What am I saying? What I'm saying is think, man, especially Hispanics and Latinos. Why isn't anything getting better? Oh, we're so progressive. We finally got a black lesbian to be our mayor and ain't nothing getting better. Not a single damn thing. Oh, just because she's progressive. Oh, just because she's a Democrat. No, that means nothing. These people don't change anything because they need this again to keep perpetually running over and over and over and over because they've convinced you that they're on your side and that they're the good guys. Just because they got a D by their name or just because they're Orange Man bad. It's ridiculous, man. You got millions of people out here that do not see through this stuff. Oh, and when you got a minority like myself, when you get a black person, when you get a brown person, when you get someone that's a minority that wakes up and breaks out of the matrix, oh, you're just a white supremacist sympathizer. You're just an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. All the white liberal racists immediately come after you on Twitter. That's the story of my life. And I'm not a victim. I'm just unplugged from the matrix, and they can't handle it. Anyways, this is a very lit episode tonight. I encourage you to share it right now because people need to hear this stuff. Share right now. And yes, I'm angry. And yes, I'm passionate. And yes, I'm loud. Okay? Because if we're going to want justice, this is something we should be calling justice for. We should be calling for this murderer to be found and to be brought to justice immediately. But the reason I came at this approach is because the chances of that happening, I'm not sure, are high, especially in Chicago, because people have been advocating and been voting to defund the police. So innocent people are not going to find justice in times like this. But as a Latino, as a Hispanic man, I got to come out and I have to be aggressive against this because, listen, this Puerto Rican couple, man, I don't know who they are, but my heart goes out to them and the 2 babies that they left behind. I gave you guys the story yesterday, but let's break down some of this story right now. Let's get this up now. Mother of 2 dies after brazen Humboldt Park shooting that killed, let me read that one more time. Mother of 2 dies after brazen Humboldt Park shooting that killed boyfriend. They spent years together. They made a family together. I thought it was so cute, the couple's friend said. They first met each other at a party, and it was over with from there. Yasmin Perez and Giovanni, the victim, fell in love at first sight and were inseparable. They died together during a brazen weekend attack. The parents of two young children, Perez and Arzuaga, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, were gunned down Saturday night amid Puerto Rican Day festivities in Humboldt Park. The male was 24 years old, died that night, and Perez, she was 25. She died today, this morning, Tuesday morning, June 22nd, 2021. Shortly after learning of her death, the couple's friend reflected on their love story. I thought it was so cute, she said. They first met each other at a party and it was over with from there. They fell in love with each other and they spent years together. They made a family together. It was love at first sight, she added. The deadly attack has drawn national attention and has emerged as another flashpoint during a particularly violent year in Chicago. Mayor Lori Lightfoot on Monday vowed to track down those involved in the horrific shooting. Yeah, with who? With the police, with the police forces that you've defunded? Captured on surveillance video that was circulated widely online and in the media. Police have said the couple were driving in the 3200 block of West Division when they were involved in a minor crash and ambushed. Several people beat Perez and then shot her. Chief of Detectives Brendan Dinian said Monday, when the male victim came to her aid, her boyfriend, he was shot by a second person, almost execution style, the police chief said. Chief of Detectives said. Video shows the couple lying in the street next to their car as the attackers ran off. Her friend said she wants her friend to be remembered as more than just a victim. She described Perez as a fun-loving friend who loved to dance and play video games. But most importantly, she said, Perez was a dedicated partner and mother to their two children, Sophia and Jaden. She was amazing. It may look hard for a lot of people, but Yasmin was such a great mom, she said, holding back tears at times. She loved her kids so much. You could tell they were so loved and they were so happy. On Friday, Jaden will celebrate his first birthday. Ami Claire, an attorney representing the Perez family, asked for privacy for the relatives. Lightfoot on Monday told reporters police have promising leads and have identified the suspected shooter, hopefully. There's one person who dealt the fatal shot, but there were others who were standing by who dragged that poor woman out of the car, the mayor said. The man who was killed literally used his body as a shield and paid for that with his life. The mayor also had a warning for those with the gunman. You need to turn yourself in because we are going to spare no resource whatsoever to find them and bring you to justice and make sure that these people who created such brazen chaos and harm are held in custody until they see their day in court. Imagine if these people fully defunded the police. You'd have none of this. As of Tuesday afternoon, police said no arrests had been made. A memorial for the family was set up Sunday near the shooting scene, and a GoFundMe page was created to cover his funeral costs and Perez's medical bills. It has raised nearly $34,000. I encourage you guys to get involved with that if you can. Let's take this down. You see, this is what happens. This is what happens when the radical left gets their way. When they begin to fully defund the police. Listen, when you see defund the police take place, that's an attack. It's a subversion on law and order. And what's happening there is innocent people are going to get caught in the crossfire. Black Lives Matter. This is all interconnected. And just hear me out here. The useful idiots, the communists, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the real domestic terrorists, have been advocating to defund the police for over a year now. They've been successful in Los Angeles and Chicago and New York and all these blue cities, blue states, right? What this does is it decimates law and order because it's a subversion of law and order by attacking police departments, by causing them to lose funding. which as a result causes them to lose progress on investigations, which in result causes them to lose manpower, which in result causes them to lose resources, which causes them to not be able to do their jobs effectively. This is why the rapid response team is resigning in Portland now as well, because even if they do their jobs, they get indicted now. So now we're losing this stuff across these big cities in the United States of America. And who are the ones that end up getting hurt in the crossfire? It's innocent people. Innocent people in the crossfire are the ones who end up getting hurt and caught in the middle of this. The violence increases. The homicide increases. The criminals come out to play. The roaches come out from out of the shadows. Why? Because they know that if the police forces are now being defunded, that their resources are now limited, that they cannot cover things as much as they used to, they're going to start to get emboldened to do whatever the hell they want. And now that you have the critical race theory SJW thing, now literally making black people invincible and also making brown people invincible, they now believe they could do whatever the hell they want. And whenever they do it, they can turn around and accuse whoever's accusing them of being a racist to get away with it. We've been seeing this in San Francisco. And this is what's taking place in the United States of America as we speak. Listen, now I'm going to speak to the Hispanic aspect of this. This is a real issue in our community right now. And I'm not blaming. This goes to my point. This always goes to my point. I always speak out against our communities. The black on black community, the homicide and the violence is through the roof with them. But the brown on brown communities slaughtering each other, Hispanics are right behind them. Now, I'm not blaming this young man that got shot. I'm not putting him in that category. What I'm saying is, as a result, people like this get caught. Innocent people like this get caught in the crossfire because of these unchecked, these unaddressed issues that are going on in our communities. And I, for one, will be one to come out and say, this is a perfect example of crime going on in minority communities that goes unaddressed, that gets swept under the rug. And the reason why these innocent Puerto Ricans were probably killed by some black guy or some other Hispanic guy, increasing the statistics that we all know about. These Latino lives matter. That is what we should be preaching in the streets. That is what people should be marching for innocent people like this that had no business being murdered by some moron out there with a gun. That's the real violence that's taking place in this country. That's the real homicide that's taking place in this country. We shouldn't be glorifying freaking fentanyl addicts that attempt to put pistols to the bellies of their pregnant girlfriends. Yes, I'm talking about George Floyd. We should be advocating. We should be very, very vocal. We should be seeking and demanding justice. If you are in Chicago, I call you right now to peacefully assemble and use your First Amendment right to hit the streets and literally advocate for as much justice as you possibly can. We need more minorities. We need more brown people. We need more black people to hit the streets and say enough is enough. Go after these gangs that are killing our own people, that are slaughtering blacks, that are slaughtering browns, innocent people. Get these people out of our cities, arrest them, put them in prison, and give them the maximum sentence. That is what minorities should be doing right now. Not going after police officers. The statistics are not the same. The black on black crime is worse. The brown on brown crime is worse. We should be advocating for the police to go after them because our own innocent people are the ones that are getting hurt and caught and killed in the crossfire. And the SJWs and the radical leftists and the stupid woke-tards on the left and the virtue-signaling white people, how dare you say something like that? How dare you? It's the minorities that are being slaughtered by the cops. No, it's not. The minorities are slaughtering themselves. And I myself as a minority come out and I aggressively say, go after them and throw them all in prison immediately. These Latin kings, these black gangs, the Bloods, the Crips, these criminal black enterprises in these big blue cities are now given cover because of people like Lori Lightfoot with the defund the police agenda. I myself as a minority come out and I say, go after these minorities, throw them all in prison because they're slaughtering each other. Because the ones that get caught in the crossfire and the ones that get hurt the most are people like this Puerto Rican couple and their children. If you guys agree with that, drop a 1 in the comment section below. You know, this is why I've always been this vocal. And there's a reason why I'm shadow banned. Can you tell now? They don't want someone like me coming out and saying things like this. Because if I was white, my God, I would probably be Alex Jones right now. I wouldn't be able to be on YouTube. But I will say this as well, is think about why that is. Everything I told you is true. FBI statistics, 2014, while the first black president was in office, Barack Obama, black on black crime was through the roof. That was under Obama's FBI, okay? Through the roof. The black on black crime was worse under Obama at the time. Wasn't getting any better. The black community makes up about 13% of the population. They commit about 53% of homicides and 60% of violent robberies throughout the United States of America. FBI. Stats. For all you stupid, woke-tard liberal journalists out there that are all now working hand in hand with the FBI to get people that are on the Capitol lawn thrown in prison forever. Oh, now all of a sudden you're pro-police working with the FBI, right? So you want some FBI statistics? Under the first black president of the United States of America, according to the 2014 FBI statistics, black on black crime was at the top of the list, above white on black crime and above brown on black crime and above even police on black homicides or killings or shootings. You want to know what was at the top of the list? It was black on black crime. Facts. And it's worse today, obviously. The ones that are going to get hurt with this defund the police garbage is black people. Mark my words. Obviously, white people are going to get caught in the crossfire, but I say this to the black community. Your people are the ones that are going to get hurt even more because of this defund the police narrative. And it's happening, by the way. It's happening. You just don't hear about it. You don't. You don't hear about it at all. And by the way, I love Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a great friend of mine, okay? I don't want people to think that I'm saying something bad against him. I'm just saying the way that he's been just completely censored, all right? I'm not saying I am Alex Jones. I would never, but you know, I do have a very similar approach to things. I just don't care. I just say what's true. What I want the black community to think about, listen, the reason why I'm saying the defund the police agenda is going to hurt you guys the most because you're already starting to see it in Minneapolis. You just don't hear about it in the mainstream media. There's a lot of black families that are extremely terrified, they're trying to find a way to communicate to the public that they don't want the police presence removed or defunded the way that Black Lives Matter has achieved it to be. Because it's their communities that these police are pulled out of. And you know what happens? Guess who takes over? If you live in a black community, all the black criminals are going to take over. They are going to police you. Little kids will get killed. Elderly will be robbed, murdered on a daily basis. Extortion, hitmen, murders. Your children will not be able to go and walk down the street. Sound like Chicago? Does that sound familiar to you? If you live in Chicago and you're black right now? Who is it that's actually out on the streets that you're afraid of? Is it really the cops? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. You go to Chicago right now and you go to the most dangerous neighborhoods and you go and knock on some doors and you start asking some of these black folk or you start asking some of these Latino folk, what are you afraid of the most walking down the street out here? Is it really the police? Or is it some black gang member, rival gang member mistaking you for somebody? Or is it some Latin king out here or some cartel member out here mistaking you for somebody and murdering you. They don't give a damn if you're black too. They don't give a damn if you're brown or Hispanic too. Because if they did, those statistics would be nowhere near they are right now. So who are the ones that get hurt the most with the defund the police narrative? Oh, and by the way, if you get murdered and the police are defunded and the homicide investigations team or the crime investigations team is defunded and they're nowhere to be found, who's going to bring justice for you? Black Lives Matter? Listen, I don't laugh because, listen, it's a very serious thing. But let this be an example to every single one of you out there. I mean what I say. The rant I went on earlier, that's what we need to do. More black people, more Hispanics, more Latinos need to get more vocal and need to get more loud like I am and saying enough is enough. These communists, these Marxists, this Black Lives Matter organization, these radical SJWs that are calling to pull out security, police out of our communities is going to cause a vacuum of evil demons, criminal activity flowing through your community. That is exactly what's happening in Minneapolis. That is exactly what's happening in portions of Los Angeles and especially Seattle and Portland. And we get hurt. Oh, of course you can go 2A up. I got the Second Amendment, Drew. I'm good. Oh, yeah, you do. But the moment you exercise that, you're dealing with communists now, especially even in the federal government. You use that Second Amendment, don't matter anymore. You're a domestic terrorist. You're a white supremacist. But I'm not white. Doesn't matter. You're a white supremacist sympathizer because you believe in American values like the Second Amendment. Don't you? That's patriotic. That's domestic terrorism. What are you, a Q supporter? You see how they start to redefine everything? That's the world, that's the America you live in right now. And it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's do some super chats. If you guys would like to support the show, like I said, this is why everything I said tonight. It's funny, don't you think? I'm going to make this last point while you guys get your super chats ready. We're extremely shadow banned, deboosted. If you got to jam out, please smash the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification. But if you're going to stick around for some super chats, if you guys would like to support someone like me, because obviously you don't see a lot of people like me these days, so we have to get behind people that are actually like this now. Drop a super chat. That is how you can support the show. Do it right now. And we'll do some super chats Q&A right now. But as you guys are getting your super chats ready, I want you to think about this. And listen, I don't play the race card. I don't do that. That's not me. You know, I get into arguments with my mom over this stuff because, you know, that's just not who I am. It's not that I'm ashamed of being Hispanic or I'm ashamed of being Latino. It's just, I don't want my brand. I'm not going to brand my ethnicity and then only limit myself to being able to speak to the Hispanic community. I speak to everybody, whites, blacks, Italians, Hispanics, Latinos, Asians, everybody. But what I want you to think about is, don't you think it's interesting that YouTube, big tech, Twitter, Instagram, all these big mainstream left-leaning Silicon Valley apps, social networks, Facebook, right? Don't you find it interesting that, they virtue signal and they want diversity and they advocate for inclusion of black people and Hispanics and now Asians, and you know, we just want every color of the rainbow to be equally successful or to at least have the equal opportunities to be successful, right? But you take a guy like me and it just shows that they're full of crap. I'm shadow banned on Instagram. I'm shadow banned on YouTube. I am shadow banned on Facebook. There's suppression on my Twitter as well. Now, I don't say this to play the victim card. I'm saying this because I want you to think about how their so-called ideology doesn't actually correspond with reality. They claim they want Hispanics to succeed, but they suppress someone like me. Remember what I said, gang. I'm always remembering that there's left-leaning people that watch this show. What I'm trying to get you to think is, or ask yourself, is why? And if your answer is, well, Drew, it's because you obviously have different views. Oh. Really? So what does that tell you? That they're full of crap. They really don't want black people or Hispanics to succeed or to be included. There's only specific. There's a type of black person. There's a type of Hispanic person. So all my left-leaning buddies out there that are listening, is that true equality? Is that true inclusivity? I would say no. I'm not playing the victim card. I'm just trying to get you to think, man. I know what I'm in. I know what I'm in. I'm not a baby. I'm a big boy. All they want Hispanics for right now are votes. They're importing them by the hundreds of thousands, at least 180K a month since Biden has been in office. So, yeah. Alrighty. I'm sure people will ask me about the Crowder thing. I'm already seeing it in the chat. Are you sure you guys want to know what I have to say about that? Okay, we have some super chats coming out. We have a super chat from Biden, a $10 super chat. We salute you. Says, keep being loud. Keep speaking truth. I can assure you I will until the very day I die. We have another super chat from Aletha Lee, a $5 super chat. We salute you. Aletha says, appreciate you, Drew. Speak for so many. Yeah, man. I think I might just have to resort to like running for office or something at this point, you know, because I mean, I can't grow on social media, this and that. Listen, I'm not playing the victim card. It's just, you know, it gets discouraging every now and then because you're like, man, you hear this all the time. I go to the mall and people recognize me. I go to dinner and people recognize me, and it's like, but I'm destroyed in shadow ban. Like I'm just held back on big tech. And yes, you can go to Odyssey and Rumble, but we all know it's not the same. So yeah, we have another and by the way, if you guys would like to leave a one-time donation on my website through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, go to my website. The link is in the description below, and you could leave a note. For some people just don't like using YouTube. You can leave a note, and I'll read it on air like a super chat. Some people don't know that. We have another super chat from JL, a $10 super chat. We salute you. I respect your passion and journalistic integrity. Best wishes to you and your family. Hey, man, it's a dying breed. It's a dying art, man. Journalism is in a very, very, in America especially, it's a dying profession. It's a dying art, man. And I, for one, had no intentions of becoming a journalist. I had no idea that God had this for me in store. Like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't grow up as a kid. Like, I mean, I loved April and the Ninja Turtles, you know? Like, I always thought that was cool. But I never knew that I would, you know, end up being a reporter, being a journalist, an investigative reporter, a commentator, a news personality. I just found myself becoming that. And God had those plans. So we'll see what God has in store for the future. I'm open to anything, man. Whatever God wants for me. I mean, dude, I don't limit myself to like this mold or this model, because I mean, if I had no idea that God was going to take me down this path of journalism, to go mainstream and be on Fox and Tucker and all these massive shows. But you know, God has just a crazy, God's crazy, you know, it's crazy to, not like crazy, like loony, but just God just like, because God is Alpha and Omega and he does as he pleases. That's what the Bible says. You better be ready for God to use you in a way that's just like, what? Like really? Yeah. He ain't got to ask permission or nothing like that. Like nothing. God, if God wants to do something, he just, boom, does it. If you're willing and open, boom, does it. We have another super chat from Whatever and Everything, a $10 super chat. What's going on? We salute you. Whatever and Everything says, Drew, I saw the video. I legit cried. Gone in a blink of an eye over nothing. No emails at work, not on the news, no marching, nada. Makes me sick. Because of this, I hold heat for protection, for family. I agree, man. I agree. It's just, at this point, we're living in a political climate where you defend yourself, you better be lawyered up. I encourage Americans right now that are pro Second Amendment, okay, that are now arming yourself legally. I advise you to get a constitutional lawyer on standby because we are starting to live in violent times. And if you find yourself in a situation where you have to defend yourself, you need to be ready, financially prepared to be attacked. Because we live in a political climate right now where your Second Amendment, according to some radical communists out here, is literally an act of terrorism in their eyes. And they'll use the justice system to go after you. That's what these people do. I've seen it, man. That couple that, the Black Lives Matter psychopaths came to their front door. They came out with, I think he had an AR, came out with his rifle. They had to plead guilty and they surrendered their firearms over. They're being sued. They didn't even shoot anybody. Imagine if they did. But no, I'm Whatever and Everything. You have every right to defend yourself. That's what I'm saying, man. It's a terrible situation. We played the video. If anyone hasn't seen the video, it's on my Twitter right now, Drew H Live. It's on my Instagram, Drew Hernandez Live. And the video of this shooting is obviously on last night's episode 100, by the way. Hey, shout out to that, right? This is episode 101 of Drew Hernandez Live. I probably should have done something to celebrate. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to all the real ones that have been there from the beginning as well. We have another super chat from Damizi626 with the $20 super chat. We salute you. Damizi says, Alex Jones was called crazy, ridiculed, and banned. But he's been vindicated because almost everything that he has said has turned out to be true. I agree. And I know Alex, like I could call Alex right now on my phone. And like Alex will send me messages, texts, voice messages. And like, if you grew up listening to Alex Jones and you got Alex Jones, like sending you like voice messages on your phone, it's like the craziest thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask Alex Jones to record my voicemail for me. I think that would be freaking hilarious. And I'll play it for you guys. Or maybe I'll ask him to send me like a shout. Maybe I'll try and get him on the show. Who knows? Maybe I'll go down on YouTube by getting Alex on the show. I don't know. But I agree with you. Many, including myself, have laughed at him, but I realized he was right. Wow. Let me read that again. Alex Jones was called crazy, ridiculed, and banned, but he has been vindicated because almost everything that he has said has turned out to be true. Many, including myself, have laughed at him, but I realized he was right. Wow, good for you, Damazi, man. Good for you to be humble enough to admit that you were wrong. A lot of people can't do that right now. But you're right, man. You're absolutely right. I could definitely get Alex on this show. I don't know. We'll see. We have another super chat from Rachel, a $5 super chat. We salute you. Off topic, but are you able to explain who Sam, is it Cedar or Setter? Cedar. I know who he is. Curious for more context after that thing with Crowder today. Okay, well, let me explain this. I'm going to give my opinion on what happened between Steven Crowder and Ethan from H3 Podcast and Sam Cedar of the Majority Report on YouTube. This is my own personal opinion. So if you haven't seen it by now, Steven Crowder and Ethan have been going at it back and forth. And, Ethan has a massive podcast. He is favored by the algorithm, obviously, on YouTube because he's left-leaning. But which is weird because Ethan in the past has had a lot of anti-SJW content and actually gained some fame by doing that. But all of a sudden he's flipped. So I guess now he's kind of like some kind of ally to the SJWs. But so him and Crowder have been going back and forth. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to explain the whole thing. But it led to a debate because Crowder, they're arguing over some of the COVID stuff and the mask stuff, and Ethan made a comment that wasn't scientifically correct or supposedly, and Crowder's gonna correct that. So Crowder challenged Ethan to a public debate on their differences, and it was supposed to go down this morning. And Crowder brought him on the show. It was live streamed or live taped, I believe. And, they seemed to be cordial in the beginning. Ethan was asking Stephen about his family, and it seemed genuine, but obviously it wasn't. But Stephen was being cordial and respectful. And then out of nowhere, they were going to debate. Stephen had no idea, no pre-warning. And Stephen started to open up the show, kind of setting up the debate parameters, and was going to kind of set that intro to start going back and forth to have a healthy. You guys know how Crowder debates. He's not like a gotcha type of guy. And I respect him for that. But out of nowhere, Ethan comes out and says, you called me a layup, and I actually did my research. I actually got prepared. And live, right before the debate started, Crowder had no idea it was going to go down. Ethan goes off screen and brings in Sam Seder, he's a left wing, he's a pretty predominant host. The left looks at him as an authoritative source of news on YouTube. Ethan bows out. I don't know if it was supposed to be 2-on-1 or 1-on-1, and Ethan was going to back out of the debate. I'm not sure. I don't know what his whole plan was, but then it just turned into this whole thing. Steve Crowder was like, oh my goodness, come on, Ethan. We knew you were going to do this. We knew you were going to back out of this. Now you want me to debate this guy that only has, what did he say? Like 30% of the views or subscribers that we have. He only has 1 million subs. We got like 5 million. You have, I think Ethan has like 3 million or something like that. 2 or 3 million subs. And so it just became this kind of like, they were just insulting each other. And you could tell that Steven was just not going to debate the guy. Steven Crowder was basically going after Sam Seder, saying, you're not on my level, basically. You only have 1 million subs, and everybody else doesn't want to have an interview with you, so I'm not going to give you one either. He said Rogan doesn't, supposedly Peterson doesn't, not too sure why. But Steven just came out and said, we're not going to do this. Ethan, do you want to debate, yes or no? And then eventually it just ended. Now here's what I would say, because here's what you need to understand. And I don't know if Steven Crowder, I'd be shocked if he doesn't understand this. But you have to understand, Ethan from H3 is not like an intellectual, okay? So when you view this, you can't view this as if it were to be like, let's say, if Steven Crowder was going to debate Charlie Kirk or something. And you're expecting some kind of intellectual integrity or standard coming from Charlie Kirk that's going to debate another conservative. Ethan from H3 is a troll, okay? He's not an intellectual source of information on his podcast. So Steven going after someone like that, in my opinion, this isn't an insult to Steven Crowder. In my opinion, I believe that's low-hanging fruit for someone like Steven Crowder, okay? That would be like me going and debating, in my opinion, like a 6th grader right now on like these political issues. That's just, this is my opinion I'm giving you, okay? Now, I personally believe Steven Crowder is on a whole other intellectual level, so I don't understand why you would want to debate someone like freaking Ethan of H3. The guy's obviously an idiot. So I understand if you looked at Ethan's response on H3, I understand why Ethan came out after this whole thing ended and came out and said, dude, I'm not a debater. I'm not a political show or analyst. I mean, that's not who the guy admits he's an idiot. And so that's why he said he brought this guy, Sam, which in the eyes of the left, people view him as a political source of news on YouTube. So in their world, this is why I'd be shocked if Steven didn't understand this, is it makes sense to me that a troll like Ethan would set up a debate with you and then back out of it and bring someone that you hate or don't want to debate onto your own show. It was a troll. That's what it was. And it was effective because all of their fans, if you look at Twitter right now, thousands of people are like, Yeah, that's right, man. Ethan, you guys got him, man. You guys got Crowder. Like, he didn't even want to debate you. Listen, you're talking about like legions of fans that are not intellectuals. They're just a bunch of idiots. They listen to H3 podcast. So like, this is why I'm like, this was low hanging fruit. So on Ethan's side, everyone's like, Ethan won. He trolled him. He got him. Because everybody knows Ethan's a troll. That's what he does. So I just think it was this weird situation where I hope Steven wasn't actually thinking he was going to get some kind of like, to me, it was like Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather in his freaking prime. Does that make more sense to you? Like, I don't know, man. That's my opinion. And obviously there were things before, some nuances, text messages going back and forth. They were communicating this, but that's just my basic kind of rundown. I personally believe, and people need to understand, like, even if Ethan asked for the debate or if it was Crowder that initiated the debate, either way, people need to, Ethan of H3 is a troll. That's what he does. So it makes sense to me that he agreed to the debate and then brought someone on and didn't tell Steven and then backed out because this was someone that is accusing Steven Crowder of not willing to debate him. So it's just a troll. It's a troll. And that's what Ethan's fans expect of him. So that's why they say, Ethan, you won. Go look at Twitter right now. Look at all the comments. Thousands of comments. You got him. You got Crowder. He didn't even want it. You guys got him because he's a troll. That's what he does. So yeah, man. Listen, to Crowder, for me, bro, I respect you, but I think that Ethan is low-hanging fruit. I personally think that you're like freaking Floyd Mayweather fighting Jake Paul. That's just my, or Logan Paul. That's my opinion. Floyd Mayweather in his prime fighting Logan Paul. But hey, whatever. It's great entertainment, right? It's getting massive views on both sides. So, hey, both sides get paid. Everybody wins. Capitalism. Okay. Can you turn up my headphones just a little bit? Check. Okay, that's good. That's good right there. Let me refresh this, guys. Sometimes when my headphones are a little low, I find myself like screaming. Alrighty, we have another we have a few super chats. A $5 super chat from Christina Katoa. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong, but thank you for the donation. We salute you. We have another super chat from Cold Haterade, a $5 super chat. Cold Haterade, we salute you. Haterade says, Marxists can get away with their crimes, but they will pay the ultimate price in hell. Ooh. Even those that think that they're Christians and are false converts as well. I don't know about you, but that puts a smile on my face. You know what? You want to know what the ultimate justice is? I'm going to read it to you right now. This is the ultimate justice that I hang on to every single day of my life. Especially when you don't see justice fulfilled in this life. This is to what I hold on to every single day of my life. And every single one of you should too. Put this up. This is the ultimate justice. Do not repay evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. This is Romans chapter 12. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord. Let's bring this down. There's two things you need to understand about that. God will execute justice in this life or the next. People that think they get away with anything if they don't repent and come to Jesus and are born again, they will face God in the end at the great white throne judgment. Not Christians. Those that are not born again. They will face God for all of their crimes. Not only that were seen, not only that were suspected, but even those that went unseen. Every single thing. That was not only a crime against humanity, but a crime against God himself. That's a scary thought. All right, let's continue. We have some more super chats from Lynn Leah B. Lynn Leigh B. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Lynn Leigh B. Lynn Leah B. We salute you. Thank you for the $50 super chat. We salute you. Lynn says, I try to speak out on Twitter as much as I can, sharing videos such as yours and others on there. I wish I could do more. Any advice? Listen, this is a complicated question to answer, but I'll tell you this. If you can't get involved culturally, I consider social media cultural involvement. Get involved with mainstream media. Get involved with maybe local news, local journalism. If you want to go down that path of culture, movies, art, politics, in the form of music, things like that, or wherever you are, man. If you find yourself right now going down a career path, take your values with you. And I'm not saying you have to like go to your work and just preach that, you know, you're a conservative and this and that, but just be open about your values when you can. Because we need more patriots in every single avenue of life. And obviously the standard answer is get involved with your local, conservative groups or activists, whether you want to help a candidate run or whether you want to run for something. Get involved with your local government, maybe at the school level, at the local level. Get involved with your state politics. Maybe get involved with a campaign. Get behind someone that you believe in. Help them. You can get involved with canvassing. You can get involved with the social media aspect of helping people with their campaigns. You can get involved with politics. Like, there are many things that you can get involved with, but I suggest and I recommend people get involved with wherever you find yourself. Wherever you find yourself. That's the advice I give to people. Because, listen, not everybody's going to be a Drew Hernandez. Not everybody's going to be, a social media, voice. But you may be able to get involved with a campaign. You may be able to get involved with local politics, local activism. Get behind something that maybe your state or your town. Get behind an issue. Advocate for it. There's many things you can do. Critical race theory is definitely a hot issue right now. Get behind a group of people in your local state that are advocating against it. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, and I encourage people to do that. We have another super chat from Rachel, a $5 super chat. Again, Rachel, we salute you. Rachel says, this is on behalf of Lefties Are Evil in the chat who wishes to donate. They said you are amazing. Laugh out loud. Hey, well, thank you, Lefties Are Evil. I'm sorry if super chat is not working for you. Sometimes YouTube, like I said, man, YouTube doesn't want this Hispanic to be successful. They don't want this minority to be successful. They don't. I got the wrong think. I'm a thought criminal. That's what I am to these people. So thank you. Lefties Are Evil. We have another super chat from Sergeant Huddle. A $10 super chat. Drew, the furniture chain IKEA. Oh, yeah, I saw this. Drew, the furniture chain IKEA, trying to be woke, had a Juneteenth menu with watermelon and fried chicken, which beautifully ended up sparking outrage from the wokesters, the woke tarts. I saw that this morning. I was about to cover that today. But then this happened. I was going to save that for tomorrow to give my thoughts. But it's like, this is just like, I should do like I should do like some kind of video where it's like virtue signaling gone wrong. And like add stories like that. You know, like when you go on YouTube and you see, 30 Easter eggs in the Loki, show or a past episode or, 5 craziest gymnast fails or something like that. Like we should start making content like that. You know what I mean? Like that would definitely be like that would be like at the top almost. I mean, talk about being a woke tard, right? It's like, we're going to virtue signal to the blacks. What do you think the blacks will like on Juneteenth? I know. Let's get them some watermelon and fried chicken. Oh my gosh. I just can't with these people. I can't, man. I can't, dude. It's hilarious. Let's see if we have any more super chats, guys, before I let you guys go. We have another $15 super chat from Natalie Bryan. Thank you for the $15 super chat. We salute you, Natalie Bryan. We thank you so much for the support. I know, you guys. We're in it for the long run, man. That's why I got involved with Real America's Voice as well, because, eventually, hopefully, prayerfully, we can take this show on there. That's why we're trying to continue to push this, show out as much as possible. But right now, this show is on its own. So thank you guys for the frequent and continual support. And I will always be someone that speaks out for justice, not just social justice, real justice. And these two Puerto Ricans, these innocent Puerto Ricans that were slaughtered, is a perfect example of where this Marxist critical race theory ideology is continuing to take us, because the police are being defunded. So now violence and crime is skyrocketing even higher. And I've been saying this from the beginning. The ones that are going to be the victims and the ones that are going to be hurt the most are the minorities in these communities. And now we're continuing to see that. Because why? Because if the police are now being gutted and neutered, who gets emboldened? Criminals. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We do this show Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Destroy that like button. Also, guys, share this video far and wide wherever you can, on your Facebook, your Gab, your Parler, your Twitter, wherever you can, guys. Share this transmission wherever you can. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. Yes, we all need Jesus. Pray for the family. Pray for the babies that are now parentless, that they would be led down a path to find their Father in heaven. So guys, keep this family in prayer, and thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I will see you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow night. And if not, I will announce on the community tab section on this channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, because for whatever reason, if I have to go out and report and go do something, I'll announce on the community section, hey, no show tonight. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day. So let's stay in touch, guys. The Discord shall be announced very soon, and the Patreon and all that good stuff. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank every single one of you. Shout out to the DH Alliance that supports me monthly on the membership section of this channel. Go check out the merch store. The link is in the description below. Support independent alternative media. We the people, you the people. I love you, my people. And until next time, guys, stay free.